Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an episode of Go Big or Go Home, a series where we review two players, very similar players, one expensive, one cheap, and this is the team that we'll be using, and we're reviewing Natale and Muriel. And we're going to review them, see which one is better. Should you go big and spend the big money on Natale, or should you go home and buy Muriel for cheaper? So let's get straight into it. So we are going to start off with the big player Natale. Now, obviously, he costs 45k, and he's a great player. The first thing that I want to talk about him is that his finishing is out of this world. He is such a strong finisher, and if he gets into good opportunities, he will score 99 times out of 100, and that's what makes him a really lethal striker. In addition to that, the fact that he has 4-star skills and 4-star weak foot really complements his whole skill set as a whole, making him feel, the 4-star skills making him a much more fun player to play with, and obviously the 4-star weak foot being a valuable asset when he gets into those scoring opportunities. Also, his work rates are great, high-low, which is what you want from a striker, high work rate, high attacking, low defending, so he stays up in those attacking positions, and another thing is that he has great overall stats. Some strikers are, just pace and just finishing or like shooting, and that's it. But Natale has fantastic passing as well, which is a really great asset as well, because that means that you can play him in, kind of a striker with two strikers, and he will unleash some great passing for the other strikers as well. So he does complement other players as well, and those are his good pieces and or like good parts. And another thing is that he, like, the final thing that really makes him feel like a great player is his set pieces. He not a lot of strikers have great set pieces, but Natale has amazing free kicks. He has amazing penalties, and you can also set him to take corners. So that's another great thing about him. But obviously you kind of want him to take corners, because that's one of his bad things. Again, if we talk about that, is that he's very short. He's 170 centimeters tall. Here you guys can see on the screen right now, kind of a summary of what's up with him. And his cons are he's quite short. He's only 170, so he doesn't win a lot of headers, and he's also quite weak, so he does get pushed off the ball quite easily. In addition to that, he obviously his heading is also weak in terms of that, so you don't want to be crossing in the ball a lot. That's not what you want to do with him. And also, when I say pace stat is wrong, basically what I mean is that it says he has 87 pace, but it just doesn't feel like it, because his actual sprint speed is only 83. So he has high acceleration, but his sprint speed isn't that great. So he's not as quick as you would think he is. So while he is a great player and he has some great pros, he also shares a few cons. So when I played with him, he felt like a great player and a really lethal striker when he did get on the ball, but he does have some bad things, and he does get pushed off the ball easily. So let's jump into Muriel and see how he compares to Natale. So we have Muriel here, and let's just jump straight into it. So Muriel, the first thing you think about when you think about Muriel is his pace. My God, he is pacey. He's an absolute pace monster, a pace whore. So much pace, you can't get over it. Here you can guys see in the clips in the background, he is literally one of the paciest players in the game, and I would say his pace is actually underrated. It feels like more than 92, to be honest. And not only is he very pacey, it's also complemented by his great agility. He's really quick on the ball, and he does these slight sudden movements, so it's really hard to get the ball off him because he does that all the time. So he is much faster than Natale, and he feels actually better on the ball than Natale, because he has agility, he does these small movements, and he really feels like a good player. But one thing that he does share with Natale is that they are both lethal when they get into scoring opportunities. He will score also 99 times out of 100, and that's actually a prime opportunity. That's a prime show there with his left weaker foot, which also is 4-star weak foot, and he also has 4-star skills, so that's the same as Natale. And again, it works the same way, so it makes him more fun to play with the 4-star skills. They're cutting in with the Ronaldo chop, and then his left foot is so strong, you can feel confident that he will score with his left foot as well. One thing that you might be saying is that his all-around stats are yellow. Now, that's obviously one thing that you don't really want a player to be, because all around his stats don't look that great. but guys, he is better than his stats. He's only 78 rated, but his passing feels good, even though he doesn't have great passing. Heading feels good, even though he doesn't have great heading, you know? So he does feel much better than his stats. Although I did say he has good passing, it's not great. It could be better. If we look at Di Natale's stats, or didn't tell his passing more like he does have much better passing, and you can feel confident of putting through a fantastic through ball with Di Natale, but not so much with Muriel. Now that might be kind of a bad thing about him. And probably the final bad thing that I could find is that he is quite weak as well. So kind of shares the same problem as Di Natale. So he does get bullied off the ball pretty damn easily, you know, even though he is, you know, that type of agile player and he gets away from players. But if, you know, you're up against someone like David Luiz or company, or you know, somebody who's very strong, even though he is pacier, if you have a strong center back, he will be able to, you know, push you off the ball. But as even though, as you can see in the gameplay in the background, he is an absolute monster. And, you know, I still have to go back because to his pace, because that's what he is all about, this guy. Pace, pace, pace. And, you know, he's a pace whore. And, you know, some of you might say, oh, he's a sweaty player. He's a sweaty player, but he's absolutely fantastic at it. He's so good at, you know, everything. And he these small movements, he feels like a ridiculously good player. So that's probably the most I can say about him, you know. What else is there to say? And like I said, he's better than his stats. So who should you get? Well, this is a tough question. I mean, Di Natale will cost you 45,000 coins, and Muriel will cost you 2,000 coins. Now, they're both great players, but you know, Muriel feels great. Di Natale feels great, but Muriel, he's so pacey. He's so agile. He shares the same finishing as Di Natale. You know, he's actually, even though Di Natale has fantastic all-around stats, Muriel still, you know, he feels better than his stats. That's not to say that Di Natale is probably, if you're looking for a center forward, you know, change a striker to a center forward, go with Di Natale. But you know, all around, it's really a tough choice. It's like, oh god, it's tough. But let's just look at his all around stats again, or like a summary of him. And he has pace, he's agile, he's finishing, he's better than his stats. He has 4-star skills and 4-star weak foot. And by the way, his work rates are medium attacking and low defending, so that's alright. It could be better, but it's decent enough. And you know, he doesn't have a lot of cons. So who do you pick? It really is a tough choice. I mean, Di Natale might be the more complete player, but if you want a striker to score goals for you, then maybe it's Muriel. But then again, do you really want that from a striker? I mean, do you want to get an all-around striker? Um, and you know, eventually, this if they costed the same, I would be like, get Di Natale, because while Muriel might be a little bit more lethal than Di Natale, like it's not the same, and because of that price difference, I'm telling you right now, go spend that 40k on someone else, put Muriel up front, because Muriel is the winner. Go home, guys. I'm telling you right now, spend that money on someone else. Muriel is such a lethal monster. Not to say Di Natale is bad, he's a great player, but Muriel is on another level when it comes to finishing and striking and all that. So, go home. If you guys have enjoyed this episode of Go Big or Go Home, please leave a like. And also, who do you want to see reviewed next? Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below for the next episode of Go Big or Go Home. And I will see you then. See you later, guys.